It's wonderful vacations. Make your office so much more elegant, beautiful, and peaceful than their own apartments, so they never want to leave. And they love it. Now, the other thing we did is the awesomeness report. We bring everyone together and we have our version of a company meeting. That's the Hall of Awesomeness. It holds about 70 people and is filled with beanbags. And the awesomeness report starts with 30 minutes of gratitude. It's fun, it's celebratory, and we give away superhero awards. We also have this tradition called mounting the puppy. So that's Eva mounting the puppy. We have a giant green puppy, and someone who does really epic work gets to mount the puppy while 60 people around them shower them for 3 minutes with appreciation and love. A lot of people say it's the happiest moment of their week. We celebrate them. We send an email to the entire team celebrating them. They get to stand in front, mount the puppy, and bask in 3 minutes of appreciation each from 60 people hurling compliments and appreciation at them. People have tears streaming down their eyes, and that's pretty meaningful for us.
If I say to you, this statement is false, let's just think about this statement for a minute. If the statement is true, then the statement is false. And if the statement is false, then the statement is true. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And I'd like to give you a simple example of this. If I say to you, this statement is false, let's just think about this statement for a minute. If the statement is true, then the statement is false. And if the statement is false, then the statement is true. The statement can be neither proved nor disproved. There are always statements that can be neither proved nor disproved. This statement is false. And if the statement is false, then the statement is true. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. If I say to you, this statement is false, forever. This statement is false. Let's just think about this statement for a minute. If the statement is false, then the statement is false. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. If the statement is true, then the statement is true. And if the statement is false, then we get into a loop which goes on forever. If the statement is true, then the statement is true. And if the statement is false, gone forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever, 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 forever.
There is an enormous amount of research. There is an enormous amount of research into the audience. And their anxieties and aspirations are researched relentlessly and then repackaged and sold back. So they are part of a loop. A loop. A loop. And an important part of a loop. Researched relentlessly and then repackaged and sold back. And their anxieties, dreams, hopes, and aspirations are sold back. So they are part of a loop. repackaged so they are part of a loop. Researched relentlessly so they are part of a loop. So they are part of a loop. There is an enormous amount of research into the loop. There is an enormous amount of loop. An important part. Their anxieties loop. Dreams loop. Hopes and aspirations loop. And an important part.
Goes on forever. We get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever.